Welcome to Monday Motivation. Feel to heal. Understanding and nurturing your emotions. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by your emotions? Well, I think we mostly all answered yes to that. But maybe it's worse. Maybe we're ashamed of our emotions. What if I told you your emotions aren't your enemy, but they're your teachers? We can learn from them and learn to be better. So today I want to help you stop stuffing them down and start understanding what they're trying to say. Hello, friends. My name is Terri Sterk. If we haven't met before, I am a wellness coach and an author. I work with women just like you who are navigating life's challenges and trying to find peace in all the chaos. Today, we're diving into something very powerful, and that's emotional wellness. So let's set an intention for today. Let's feel more equipped to face our emotions rather than fear them. This is about healing, clarity, and growth. It's not about shoving our emotions under the carpet and moving on. It's about dealing with them so we can move on. So first of all, what are emotions? Can you answer that question? You know, the first time someone asked me, what is an emotion? It was hard. It was hard for me to answer. It's a feeling? Well, not exactly. An emotion is a sensation in your body that is created by your thought. Emotions fuel all other actions. So they're physiological and psychological responses to what we value, what we fear, or what we experience. Emotions are signals, not problems. There are no bad emotions. There are just unmet needs or unspoken truths behind them. So don't think about emotions as bad or good. They just are emotions. And an example are tears. They don't mean that we're weak. They mean that something else matters. So how do we understand our emotions? First, we need to pause and name it. When you feel something, stop and say, what is it that I'm feeling? Then give it a name. Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it joy? Is it overwhelm? Or something else? Naming it helps you recognize it, which is the first step. If you just go through life without thinking about it, then you won't recognize it and move on. You'll just shove it under the carpet. And then it'll raise its ugly head some other day. But naming it starts the healing process. So the second step is to get curious, not critical. Our thoughts create emotions, and it gives us a sensation in our body. So where is this emotion coming from, and what is it trying to teach me? Anger might mean a boundary has been crossed. Maybe an expectation you had of someone didn't get met, or a promise was not kept. Sadness might mean you're grieving a loss or an unmet expectation. Emotions are very personal. I'm just giving you examples. What does anger mean to you? Can you think of times when you got angry? Was it an unmet expectation or a boundary that was crossed? Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Ask, what is this situation trying to tell me? So how do we nurture emotions without being controlled by them? This is something I've learned fairly recently. Maybe it comes with age. I don't know. But it's kind of clicked into place for me. Our emotions don't just live in our minds. We know that. They show up in our bodies and they affect our spirits. We are a complex being. We're human beings. We are made up of, our mind, our emotions, our soul, our spirits, our body. You might feel tension in your shoulders and you're not sure where it came from, or a knot in your stomach, or fatigue that is unexplained. That's not just stress. It's our whole self talking to us. Our mind-body connection is amazing. That's what makes us human. We're interconnected. And when we have balance in all those parts of us, that's when we can feel grounded and confident. But here's the key. While all of those parts of us are connected, you can also learn to see them as distinct parts of the same system. That means your body might feel overwhelmed, but your spirit can stay grounded. You can be honest about what you're feeling without being ruled by it. What do I mean by all this? What I'm trying to say is that your body is not you. What do I mean by that? Well, you are your soul, your spirit. Your body is a temple, a vessel, a home for your soul. When you realize you are separate from your body, you can acknowledge that your emotions are separate from your body too. The impact of those emotions often shows up in our body, and that's the interconnectedness that we have. As we previously defined in the beginning of this live, an emotion is a sensation in your body that is created by thought. So if we could separate emotion from our body and just deal with that emotion, I am not my emotion. I am the one experiencing it. You could also say, my body is holding sadness right now. Why am I sad? Or my chest feels tight or heavy. I feel really anxious. And then ask, what does my spirit need in this moment? You might be like me, an emotional eater. I've spent my whole life dealing with weight problems. They go up, they go down. I've been in a good place for quite a long time now. But then I see, that my emotions can create a problem when it comes to eating. And a lot of us are this way. We celebrate with food. We comfort ourselves when we're sad with food. It's emotional. When I feel an emotion that I can't handle, I can stop, pause, and think about what caused it. My thoughts are separate from my body, so I can look for the solution in my soul with my spirit. And if I pause and reflect, then that desire in my body, that desire for comfort, to stop the pain or celebrate the joy will dissipate. It will fall away. It really doesn't take long if you can just stop and pause. Then you deal with the emotion before your body jumps up to go to the refrigerator or whatever it is that you do to self-medicate. This is very simple, but it's also kind of complex to explain. But what happens when we are intentional about paying attention to our emotions, we're better able to manage them without negative impacts to our body. And it gives you space to breathe through it rather than be buried by it. You can sit, reflect, and determine next steps rather than just jumping into something. You can acknowledge the emotion. You now have the space to think about it and not lose your identity in it. You can care for your body better by anchoring your spirit. So when we're able to separate our body from the emotion, it gives us space to breathe, acknowledge, and care. And when you're able to separate the storm from the sky, it's a metaphor, you remember that the storm will pass. This too will pass. It's one of my favorite grounding affirmations to say to myself when I'm in a high stress moment. This too shall pass. And what I'm doing there is grounding that emotion so it doesn't take over. So what does nurturing look like? It's stillness, it's quiet, it's breath for the spirit, gentle movement or rest for the body, speaking truth and compassion to yourself when emotions arise. When you treat both your body and your spirit with kindness, you build resilience and you're better able to handle difficult things that come up. And that's the kind of strength that lasts. So how do we do this? Let your emotions rise like waves, but don't put up walls. Let them come, feel them, reflect on them, figure out what to do with them. Then they will dissipate. They aren't flaws, they're part of your design. They're feelings that guide us, but they shouldn't cause guilt or fear. When we learn to honor them, we can heal from what the hurt. We can heal from the hurt, the pain, from whatever we've been through. So I have a call to action. If you'd like to go deeper into your own emotional healing, I'll send you some action steps to help you become more grounded calm, and emotionally clear. It's a great tool to help you stop and pause and reflect. So let's keep this conversation going. If you'd like, share an emotion in the something you're dealing with, an emotion that you're dealing with in the comments. I hope this message was helpful. If you'd like to tag a friend, please do. The video will be uploaded to YouTube, so available to the public in the next week. Let's keep this conversation going, and thank you for joining me today. As always, I'm cheering you on.